Welcome to the deep dive. We're cutting through the noise today, taking a look at a brand called Lumina Pro.
Right. They sell all that stuff for, like, setting up a beauty room.
Exactly. Vanity mirrors, makeup tables, ring lights, organizers, the whole setup. We've got a pretty detailed review we looked at, and basically, our mission today is simple. Let's unpack this quickly and figure out, is this brand legit, or should you maybe be a bit cautious before buying?
Yeah, exactly. We're putting their, let's say, official story up against reality. We'll check out the usual reliability stuff, how long they've been around, how transparent they seem.
And then compare that to, well, the actual customer feedback, or sometimes the lack of feedback.
Right. Those review gaps can tell you a lot.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, the foundational facts. We checked the domain registration, standard who's lookup, and the sources show Lumina Pro's website. It's been active since 2020.
Okay, so 4 years or so. That's
Yeah.
not nothing. It does suggest they're, serious about this, not just some pop-up shop.
Definitely more than those flash-in-the-pan drop shippers you see everywhere.
Totally. And you can kind of see that seriousness reflected in their social media presence. They are very active.
Oh, yeah? When?
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. They're constantly posting, replying to comments, engaging. That interaction really helps build trust.
And speaking of trust, what about contact info? Is it easy to reach them?
Well, on the main website, it's just an email, which is, okay.
You got.
But over on their Facebook page, we found more. They actually list a physical address and a phone number.
Ah, okay. That's a much better sign. Direct contact info is always good if there's an issue.
Definitely a positive signal.
Yeah.
And the products themselves seem pretty thought out, too. Like, the vanity mirrors aren't just mirrors. They've got built-in LED lights. Some have Bluetooth speakers, anti-fog features.
So combining the style with, like, actual practical features.
Exactly. Aiming for that functional but still very glam kind of space.
Okay, so those are some solid points in their favor. Domain age, social activity, decent contact info. But, well, we know brands can look trustworthy. What happens when we dig into what customers are actually saying?
Right. And this is where things get interesting. A bit more nuanced. If you look only on their own website, Lumina Pro boasts this perfect 5-star rating.
Okay. Based on how many reviews?
Over 650 reviews. All apparently 5 stars.
Wow. That seems high. And maybe a little too perfect.
That's exactly what the sources flagged. The reviews look, quote, a little too polished, maybe even a bit fake.
Right, like who writes a perfect essay about a mirror 650 times?
And that suspicion gets stronger when you notice a big gap.
Which is?
They have absolutely 0 reviews on major independent sites like Trustpilot.
Oof. Yeah, okay, that's a red flag. No outside validation at all.
None that we can find on those big platforms. It really makes you question those perfect on-site scores.
But wait, you said nuance. Is there another side to this?
There is, actually. It's kind of unexpected. When you dig around on, say, Reddit forums, places where people just chat, the mentions of Lumina Pro are actually pretty positive, especially when people compare them to competitors.
Oh, interesting. Like who?
Well, the sources mentioned folks comparing them to brands like Fancy or Ricky Loves Ricky, which apparently had issues with slow shipping or bad service. And in those discussions, people were saying Lumina Pro had, like, better quality and better service.
So the word of mouth, when it's not on their own turf, is actually decent.
Seems like it, yeah. At least in those specific comparisons.
Okay, so wrapping this up. What's the final verdict from the sources? It sounds a bit confusing.
It is a bit of a mixed bag, yeah. Lumina Pro seems to be operating in, like, 2 different realities. On one hand, you've got these solid business fundamentals, the domain history, the acts of support, the detailed products.
Suggests a real company trying to build something.
Exactly. But on the other hand, they seem really committed to these questionable marketing tactics, like those overly perfect on-site reviews.
And the total lack of independent ones.
Right. So the final advice boils down to this. They appear somewhat reliable. Probably not an outright scam, but definitely approach with some caution. Don't just blindly trust those 5-star ratings on their site. That lack of independent feedback matters.
So reliable enough to consider, but not reliable enough to just click buy without thinking.
Precisely. Go in with your eyes open.
All right, so that leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. If a company seems to have its act together structurally, registered domain, contact info, decent products, products later, but they still feel the need to rely on those maybe fake perfect internal reviews, While getting okay-ish mentions in random online chats, what's the real measure of their quality then? Do you trust the company's own shiny, curated story? Or the messy, maybe more genuine word of mouth you find buried elsewhere? Something to mull over as you maybe design that perfect glam space.